Hi, in this video I will show you how to put together this angled hexagon box from Simply Crafty SVGs. So rarely do I make a box this small with this much detail, but I thought it would be a cute little gift box either for any holiday really. So I made this one in a fall theme and for maybe Thanksgiving. So we have these pieces, two pieces, and that's the bottom, and then we have these two and these, that's the lid. So there's no panels on the bottom piece or the actual box, so we don't have to worry about that. But let's go ahead and put the panels on this first. So as you can see, I've already folded them, so that's how they look when they're folded. And you know, you could make this box larger. So just because I made it small doesn't mean it can be made as large as you can on a mat. So we do have videos on how to resize. So if you want, go and find those on our YouTube channel, or it's under our Cricut help page too. So if you're looking for that. So we're just going to go ahead and center these. So there's just a little edge around these. You want to go ahead and just put those down. And it's just easier to do it when it's flat. If you can, add panels when things are flat, but that's not always possible with like curved designs. And I did ink the edges of these panels a little bit with some brown ink, chalky. You could use distress ink, distress oxides, whatever you have, if you have that kind of stuff. Just because it says chalky doesn't mean that others don't work. You just have to learn how to use it for edges. But you don't need to go buy special ink. In fact, if you have just regular stamp ink, you could just play around and see how you could do it. It just, some of the higher end, like the distress oxides, really blend really well. So, and the distress inks as well, if you use them properly. And that's a Tim Holtz product. So Tim, he does a lot of demos for his products. And then these will just be centered like this, so we'll just go ahead and center them on these. So this could be used for any holiday, like I said. It's just a generic box that you can add different papers to, and like I said, you could easily make it larger. But what's nice about this one, you can either cut it on using two letter size or one 12 by 12. So like I said, rarely do I make boxes this small, but it came out, it's cute. So I think it's cute small. But the smaller the things the boxes are, especially when you have little angles and everything, the more you have to just be careful because you have smaller tabs and things are all generally smaller. So we'll move that over there. And once we get these on, we'll go ahead and just start assembling this. We'll do the hard part first, which is the lid. And the box, I printed this so you can see I printed it too small on the other side. Actually, I printed it a while ago, but got around to using it. So if you don't use digital paper, that's kind of fun too. If you don't know how to use digital paper, you can go ahead and I have tutorials for Cricut Design Space right now on how to use patterns in digital paper. But I also have, I'm going to have one for silhouette. As of this video, I don't have silhouette, but I'm working on it. So once we have these to get all the panels on, I'm just going to go ahead and glue these sides together. Now we could just glue the other ones, but I just want to have it one piece first. To make it consistent, I could have just glued this part so it's like the same all the way around. fold that in, kind of fold, come down, and all those will fold like that. So when we go around, we're going to go ahead and line up one edge to the tab fold all the way around. So it really doesn't matter what order. I kind of left it open on the other side. You could close the other side. Just if it kind of pulls up a little bit, just kind of flip it under, and then I usually use my finger to make sure that the edge lines up. So here's the other opening. So again, you could close this. It's really not that difficult. I think the most difficult part of the lid is I'm going to flip that in. Got a little glue on my fingertip. Lining that up to the tab fold. The most difficult part is going to be the little knob at the top. But again, if you just take it slow, it's really not that bad. You see what it looks like on the inside. It looks pretty clean. So we have two more, so we'll just do this one first. I have a little damp paper towel just in case I get a little leakage. Then we have this last one right here. Then we'll line it up. Actually can't wait to make a Christmas version of this. You can have fun with patterns and colors in the simple box. So you can see how this is folded. So this is the top section and this is the bottom section. But I connected them, kept them connected to make it easier. But what I would say would be easiest is to do this top section. So this little tab on the top section, just line this up. So at this point, if you wanted to too, you could always put this on here because it's going to make it easier for you to reach in and apply pressure. So we're going to put the top on, which is this little hexagon. I'm just going to go ahead and line it up here. It kind of displays, you kind of have to pull it a little bit to line up the edges because it does have an angle to it. But once you get it in place, you can go ahead and do this. Then you don't have to worry about that because you don't really have to reach in there for anything. So now we're going to go ahead and make sure this is all folded. We're just going to go around the edge here. So we're going to go ahead. I'll just do one first. So I'm just going to fold that, get it nice and close to the edge. I wanted this box, a lot of times I break up the file a little bit differently because it does sometimes make a difference how the finished product looks. So for this one I wanted it to be something fun but a little bit easier, so that's why I connected them. I'm going to go ahead and I'm kind of pulling it at the same time because what happens if you don't have it taut, when you get to the next fold line, you may have problems getting it around. So you might want to check that before. And try not to get glue on the top. I got a little bit of glue on the top. I didn't put panels there. Then we have two more. Let me pull. I'm going to flip that tab in right there. See that little tab? What I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue to all 3 tabs. Just make sure it's flipped in. And I'm going to go around. Whoops, I just got glue on my fingertip here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just reaching in to apply pressure. Get this last one folded down. And what I'm doing here is also pushing in that inside tab, that little tab. So it's behind the angle tab. So if you do have a little bit of glue, which I do, I'm just going to lightly, be careful with some paper the color comes off, especially the reds and the blacks. This will dry okay though. So I wanted to make sure I held it long enough. So these are going to fold backwards and glue to the inside. So what you want to do is kind of train these. So if you get them nice and loose, and get that valley fold in there. Then I'm going to flip those in. Pop this in. Make sure all the tabs are inside. I'm just going to glue one tab. So I'm going to add glue to the back of one of these little tabs. I'm going to fold it back to anchor it. Like that. So you can see it's flat. If you want it to kind of look okay inside, I didn't put a panel inside, but you could always put just a little hexagon a little bit larger than this. I mean, it's up to you. You could just cut something out or a circle like that. I just felt like this is more of a gift box, so it wasn't, not a lot of people are going to be looking at that. Well, since I have to prep the file, I'll just put something in there that's sized a little bit bigger than this in the extra stuff folder, as I know not everybody has the greatest of software. So you see I anchored it on one side and then I went to the opposite side. And now I'm adding glue to the 2 tabs between those 2, and I have a little bit of glue that leaked through. Fortunately, I'm using art glitter glue, so it will dry clear. But be careful with your glue towards the seams there. So do better on those. So that's the inside, and that's what it looks like. There's angle size right there. It's kind of a fun little lid. I'm going to add this little, I've had this forever. They probably don't even sell them anymore. But I had these from a long time in my stash, so I thought this would look good on the top. So now that we have the lid done, let's go ahead and put the box together. So the hard part is done. So let's go ahead and we'll just start with one of these pieces. You see I folded all the tabs like that. And I put it into, I purposely didn't do one big long piece. First of all, it would be pretty big and it would require 12 by 12. But I wanted this to be able to be resized up a little bit, this file. So if somebody wanted to make a larger box like this, they could size it up. So it just has a little angle at the bottom. So I'm just putting glue on those little side tabs and then lining this up. So it's pretty simple. And then we'll go ahead and do this with, put them together by adding glue to this big tab and small tab. So we'll start with the big tab. So line up that section. And since I don't have panels on this one, which of course you could always kind of a little bit of a square, but you could always add something to that. And I just want to angle it down, so I'm just folding it down to line up this edge with the tab fold there. And then the rest are the same until we get to the end. So the way this lid goes, the reason I didn't have panels on it is the lid kind of comes down here, so it kind of gives it enough contrast in my opinion. Also, you could add a little sentiment on one of the panels. So we're almost done. Go ahead and line this up. Get those. I'm going to get that first one and then come down here. So all you have to do is put the bottom piece on. So make sure everything's good and secure. That's what it looks like on the inside. You see the side? It's a little angled bottom. So to make it easier, we're just going to glue it on top. But to get that first one scored, I like to just fold it kind of backwards. Some people might like that, but you won't really notice it. But I think it's a good little trick to get it lined up. So I'm going to line it up there. Especially when you don't have an inside panel. Just going to line it up. Apply some pressure there. And then I'm just going to add glue to these tabs. You want to make sure you have glue when you only have just one tab. If you wanted to, one panel, you could duplicate this panel and put it on the inside and outside if that's something you're used to doing. But for this one, I just thought, again, I'm just trying to make it one sheet of 12 by 12 or 2 sheets of, or 2 letter size to make it a small gift box. So just going to fold it over. I'm just lining up. Just going to line up each edge. I'm not applying a lot of pressure because I want to make sure I get it lined up, which is pretty easy actually. Once we get it in place, that one's just a little bit off. I don't like too much overlap. I'd rather it be smaller than overlapped. Then just go ahead and apply pressure to the tabs inside. And some people might not like the tabs inside, but you know, to me it's a gift box, so. Or you could put this on the inside and the tabs on the bottom if you didn't care. If you were going to put something heavy, that might be the best way to go. So then here it is with the lid on it. It's kind of fun. I think it's one of my favorite like generic boxes in a while. So if you like this file, this project, please give me a thumbs up below or subscribe to our channel. And I hope you enjoyed this project, and thank you for watching.